Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Fix This Build That Sunday Night Live show. I'm Brad.
And I'm Susan.
And
it's Sunday.
We're back. We took a week off last week for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So I hope you guys all enjoyed the Super Bowl. It was a great game. Bengals lost. Whatever. I slammed them in my video, which launched today. Video launched today on 10 tips for better miter saw dust collection. And for those of you with super keen eyes, you will notice behind Susan something different. You're blocking it. You're like blocking
I'm
it.
like the Bengals offensive line here.
No, you're blocking way too much. So this is part of that was a dust hood. So it's 10 tips on how to get better dust collection specifically for the miter saw. And basically I also walked my way through what I did as far as like where I started and then the changes that I made along the way to my system for dust collection and ending up with that. And if you see the little thumbnail, got a little secret weapon. So there is a thing in there that most of you guys probably already know. But if you don't, I'm not going to tell you. You got to go watch the video. All right. Before we jump in, let's see here. Why is this thing not on? My nifty little changer dealio is not on. So let me fire that up.
Nifty changer dealio?
Nifty changer dealio. That's the technical term for it.
It's quite the sentence.
Yes, for one moment here while that loads up. I guess I can just click. Oh, here we go. All right, cool.
Yep.
Yes. All right. So before we get into things, let's greet our new Builders Club members. And why did that not switch? That's weird. Let's try that again. New Builders Club members. There we go. All right. We had a few people join this week as well as last week. So this is Michael Finn, Bob Spryn, Anthony Jen. No, I was just like rhyme them all.
I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Anthony Nieszel, John Herring, Jodi Hammer, and Eric Finkelstein. And I love Eric Finkelstein. That reminds me of Finkel and Einhorn on Jim Carrey, the Ace Ventura. He's like, Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Sorry.
I don't remember that.
If there's
it's been
any,
a minute.
Katie Lockridge coming in with a super sticker. No, Katie.
And
you, my
is it a
friend, are
pear or
amazing.
is it an avocado?
It's got to be an avocado,
because
which
we
are super
had
pricey now.
Avocado tonight at dinner, and it was delicious.
I think Katie saw something
knew.
here, but
Right.
thank you to all those folks that have joined, and welcome to the Builders Club, where they get access to the videos early. They got to see that video yesterday, as well as the shout outs here on the live, and at the end of the videos on the main feed, as well as free plans, depending upon the tier you're in. So if you want to get more information, head over to fixthisbuildthat.com/Builders Club and check it out. And thank you to all those folks that have joined and the Builders Club members who are here tonight.
Yep. Thank you so much.
All right. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of reverb. Is that?
The reverb.
Reverb. Okay, and now I feel like Katie, yeah. So the beer of the week, again, is Bud Light.
Are we going to sing a song about it or no?
I don't think Bud Light deserves a song.
You love Bud Light.
I do love Bud Light.
Man, harsh.
Cheers, folks.
And I'm drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper.
I'm gonna
best soda around.
The
Diet
power
soda.
off on this thing. Jeez, I can't even reach it.
Right.
I don't know if that was doing it or what. Okay, so who is here tonight? We had a bunch of people here early. Where's my cursor? There we go. And Susan has her own laptop. She was complaining about...
somebody on here, animation creation maybe? Yeah, he said 2 laptops. Has the live budget gone up?
No, just the Susan.
Just
the Susan. What do you call it? Accommodation has gone up.
I mean, I can't.
She was like,
read
I can't
the
read
screen,
the thing. She was
so
like,
I was just like, what am I doing?
She was basically like, I'm gonna quit the live because I feel like I am a third wheel or a second wheel.
I did say that. I said like
She was like, I just sit here and I can't read anything, and I just try to make funny comments, and I was like, we'll get you a laptop,
off topic
baby.
real easy.
We'll get you a laptop, baby.
So it took like how much additional time did it take for you to hook up the laptop?
It's a lot. All right,
Like
who
2
we got
minutes.
here? We got Larry, Stan, Alan, Will, Katie, Chris K, Brian Farnath, Jason, Ian Z, Travis Porter in the house.
I like how you said it, Travis Porter.
Travis Porter in the house.
another.
Animation Creations.
Dad it yourself.
It's Scott back in. He's coming hard. What's up, Scott? Scott from Dad It Yourself DIY. Made it back in tow. Love it.
Well,
and
Scott.
James. So welcome. And Mark Handy. Welcome, everybody. Mario Turcotti. What's up, Mario? Cool.
Mario?
Let me go back up. I think I saw...
Did you say James McIntyre?
I did say James
Okay,
McIntyre.
just checking. Oh, yeah,
Lumber's still
Mario.
trading at $1,200 per 1,000 board feet. Holy cow, Katie!
mean-
Isn't that close? What did we get up to 1,600 during like peak COVID, or was that like 1,300? I don't remember.
1,600.
That Bud Light is tasty, friends. Tasty, tasty, tasty. So this week we are going. Well, I say we, Chris and I. Susan will be manning the children.
I'll be womaning the children. I'm not manning anything.
That's true.
I will
That's
be
true.
holding down the fort. What other expressions can we use? I'll be
Crying in your pillow.
keeping the train on track.
Yeah, she's gonna get them in line and keep them in
Right.
line.
Maybe they're pretty good, but you
yeah,
know,
they're pretty
gotta
good.
make sure they don't
But
fall apart.
Chris and I will be going to Workbench Con in
this is
Atlanta. Starting the conference is Thursday to Saturday.
Yep. What is
And-
it gonna do? Like,
What?
I'm gonna be.
What are you gonna do?
I could watch all
you're-
the
no,
romantic comedies at night.
Listen,
that
I'm gonna be
want.
checking in on you to make sure that you're at the computer working.
I mean, I agree with that, but I'm saying at night,
Yes,
I could
you can do
watch
whatever you want.
shows or movies that explosions don't occur.
The one thing, what the
Oh yeah, the
Malady
Marvelous
Marvelous.
Miss Maisel. I was like, oh, third season.
I
I'm
like
gonna watch
Malady
this, and Brad was like
Marvelous.
scrolling.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. So
Anyway, I
we will
should
be
watch
there. Who all is going? Because I know that Scott will be there. Is anybody else headed out to Workbench Con? Let me know. I would absolutely love to meet up with you guys, see everybody in person. And I met Scott at a previous Workbench Con, so it'll be a little reunion. But I would love to, if anybody else is new there, let me know. So I would love to
Right.
talk to you guys.
I feel like I'm just going to interject real quick. Not being able to see the screen. I had no idea that. I did say idea that, you know, I live in
Tennessee, for
Tennessee.
sure.
Katie, appreciate it. Susan looking fly today. You go, girl. You don't relay these comments to me.
You know, I keep those for
Thank you,
myself.
Katie.
Later on, I'll be like, "You're looking fly today, honey." I just steal them. Katie
He's
doesn't
like,
mind. She's like,
Katie had a good compliment. Yes. Yeah. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Cool. Well, this week,
Take
yeah,
'em.
we did the dust collection, like I mentioned. Oh,
Yes.
This was actually a cool thing. So I know I've been talking
Yeah.
about 3D printing here, I don't know, at least for a few months, talking about things. And this was one that I printed. We've been talking about some different printers. This came off of my Anycubic i3 Mega S. They just like keep adding things on there. Anycubic i3 Mega S is the actual model of it. But I printed this, so this goes into the back, and I just did it as an example for the video because I already made one. But this goes into the back of the miter saw, and then it's about at this angle so that then the dust will shoot straight up, and then the hose comes over and around the back. So this is just a perfect example of how to use 3D printing in the shop. And I know, some people are resistant to 3D printing and not really doing stuff. It's machines, blah, blah, blah. CNC, all that. I am not. I'm on board. I am all on board. I love it. And it's really cool. Like, this is just such a great application doing dust fittings. So, dust fittings in between smaller pipes. And if you want to reroute something or whatever, I did make this design in Fusion 360. It's super easy to do. Bob Claggett actually has a video that I followed on how to do it. Basically, all you do is get this diameter, extrude them, position them the way you want.
Extrude just makes it sound fancy.
Yeah, position them. So if you just imagine like this cylinder here and then this cylinder here, so obviously you start with a circle, extrude it into a cylinder, same thing there. And then all you do is like touch this face in the model, touch that face, and say, what's the, I think it's called loft, and it just connects them. So I didn't have to like figure that math out or anything. I'm just like, yo, this face and that face, connect them totally. And it's like, whoop, and then it's a solid. And then there's another command called the shell, and you can go shell, and it basically hollows out the interior. So it is extremely easy to do. Even a caveman could do it. And she wasn't even listening.
Oh, I'm listening. I'm just ignoring.
Yeah,
no,
good.
I was waiting with my comment.
And so, yeah,
About this.
I am.
You say even a caveman could do it like you're a caveman. This is why he doesn't want me to have a computer, because I'm not hanging on his every word. But what I was going to say is, I think, having conversations. Listen, I think your favorite part of the whole process, you know what it is.
What?
busting out the calipers.
Oh, of course, I love
and
my calipers.
Getting
to measure things.
And being
What do you? I mean, I guess you just call it
precise.
measuring. But I was gonna say like calippering.
Calippering. What's the verb for calipers?
I mean, it's measuring
Measuring.
with calipers.
Calippering.
But I feel like you should. I feel like
Calippering sounds.
it sounds like you're riding a horse.
It
I
sounds
was
like
calippering.
you're cavorting or something.
I was calippering down the road.
Yeah, like what's the word? Cantering.
I know.
It's a
Or galloping.
combination,
It's
yeah.
I like
Who
that.
knew?
I was
We've
calippering
made a
down
new
the road.
word.
I think maybe that's what I'll go for the time. Early and often.
I feel like you probably use calipers more than most people would expect. I feel like you're always busting out the calipers on projects.
No, I don't use it. No.
Okay, I made that up.
Calippering, that'd probably have 2 R's. 2 P's, 1 R.
I don't know. I'd have to go look.
Yeah, I was calippering. We're going with that. All right, so what is going on out there, guys? What did y'all think about the dust collection tips and tricks? It was just tips. I guess there's some tricks in there. Let me know what you guys thought. Scott, we are driving down. I'm driving. Scott is flying. Yeah, actually, you could be on the same flight as Chris, because Chris is
Maybe.
flying out of Seattle.
Oh, that's right.
That's right. So if you see Chris, I mean, he's never been. Well, he's on my Instagram.
Are you gonna I don't know. Well, he wouldn't be here for the live. We should have him here for the live sometime. That'd be fun.
Put him over there in the corner, make him edit some stuff. Hey, edit some flames coming out of my head or something.
He could be answering all the editing questions.
Yeah.
I think y'all would have some very interesting questions for Chris, probably.
Oh yeah. Crafts by Cunningham. What's up, brother?
Merch. Sorry.
They need Susan merch.
That's what Katie says. Katie's my fan
Katie,
club.
what
I
exactly
just
would
need to
Susan
get
merch?
Katie's
I would
number.
love to know what Susan
So
merch
when
would
I'm
look
having
like.
a bad day, I can be like, Katie, just tell me please good things about myself. Take it.
So
I don't know what my merch would look like.
I don't either.
Womaning.
Am I going to sell these? No. I actually did consider that, Cunningham. I thought, you know what, that'd be kind of cool to get I don't know, a half dozen or a dozen of the different most popular saws out there and the connections to them. So maybe 6 of the most popular saws, because most of the manufacturers have the same fittings on the back. So, Rigid, DeWalt, Ryobi, Makita, whatever. Get all those and then do different fittings to different, 1.5, 1.25. Like this is 1 7/8 interior, or actually exterior. The interior is about the OD on this is I think right over 1.5 inches. Anyway, thought about doing all that, and I thought, that'd be too much effort.
OD.
Outside diameter, outer diameter.
Got it. I don't have my caliper turned.
That's right. And I think that would be really fun and cool, but not worth it at all, because I was looking at how. So I also looked at how much. If you just printed this model, and there's a different sites out there that you can upload a model to, and they will print it and send it to you. It's expensive, but even then, it's $21, I think. I just did a cylinder too, so I didn't even put the shape on it. But it's $21 because on this one I should have had support material, but I didn't, because that overhang is more than 45 degrees. So anytime you're doing an overhang more than 45 degrees, you should really have support. Because it'll, you're kind of printing into thin air. But because...
Printing into thin air.
Yeah.
Sounds like, I don't know.
Well, band, printing into thin air.
Yeah.
The same under here. But I was just yeah, whatever, because I didn't care. So it kind of looks a little sloppy. It gets a little dicey around here.
Let me
But
see it.
yeah, so you can kind of see at the top and then the bottom, where it's a little thin.
Oh my gosh. This is deplorable.
I know. But I didn't
No,
want...
I was going to say,
Go
in
ahead.
the comments on the video, people were saying that a lot of libraries have free
Yeah, so there you go.
printers, so that'd be an option.
But and it's just
yeah, this is
I don't know, suspect.
Sus.
It's just such an easy project, James, that I just called you James. Is your name James? I'm sorry. I think
just calling you names.
We're going with James. James Cunningham. I know James Cunningham, but I don't
Well, there you go.
precisely know if
But
that's
is
you or
it
not.
you? That's the question.
I know. Razor, what's up, man? Quick question. In my opinion, is it worth going to Workbench Con if I do not have a maker business or a YouTube channel?
That's a good question.
It depends upon why you would want to go, honestly. I mean, that's what it's for. But if you don't have one, but you want to have one, absolutely.
Right.
Because you would make a ton of connections, and in
get inspiration,
peers, and see how people are doing it. If you were just going to hang out and have a good time, I probably wouldn't fly in and get a hotel to do all that. But if you were local, that could be like worth it, just to hang out and enjoy.
I need your fingerprint. Or if you honestly, like if the cost of it and everything is just like not a big deal to you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really wanted to meet people and have a good time, but you were saying you wouldn't fly in and get a hotel. Well, I'm saying it depends on your budget.
I said
right?
I personally wouldn't. But so let's say all in, like if you're flying in, $750 flight, $750 for hotel, so probably $1,500 in travel if you fly, ish, depending upon it might be more, it might be less. Mm-hmm. Plus the ticket, which I think is, I have no idea, honestly, $500, $600, plus meals and all that. I mean, you're talking like $2,000, $2,500. If you've got that money to spend and like you want to go have a good time, 100%, because it is a good time. It's a really good time. You can have a great time there. But I don't think spending all that, just the price of the ticket, and if you're local and are able to drive in and not have to have a hotel and that stuff, then I could see myself doing that.
Hotel.
I would, I probably would.
Because you're probably going to go out to karaoke bars with people like this guy.
I know. If you really enjoy karaoke.
I mean, I will be disappointed if I find out you don't go to karaoke.
Oh, we're going to karaoke. Don't worry about that.
It's every time.
Yeah.
Brad has a good voice. How do you turn this up again?
What?
The brightness.
Maybe it's going to go out. It's going to die on you.
Oh. Well, okay, then don't do that.
See, I don't even think it's going to let me. It's like, no mas. Oh, wait,
I'll struggle through.
Yeah, it's ready to die.
I might not be able to read comments for much longer.
No.
It's been while it lasted.
Yes. Animation Creations. The Elegoo is like a brand of 3D printer. He's saying he was surprised by the strength. I was too. I was imagining that it was. I was imagining it was going to be a little bit more brittle, but that's good to hear.
3D printers are fun.
All right, what else do we have here?
I don't
know. Let's see here. Scott's flying in Wednesday night. Oh, yeah. Is worth it. Even if you don't have a business, the knowledge alone is worth it. Yeah, I agree, Katie. I agree. I think that if you can swing it, but the way to, always think about return on investment. It's like, what am I going to get out of it? And even if that's just like, hey, I got to meet a bunch of good, cool people, and I have like questions, because also it's like, if you went just as a maker, like people, you obviously like to build or make or do something that just getting the contacts there to meet and the friends and being able to have a community, to become closer to a community. I mean, there's like social media and all that, but it's a completely different thing. Like when you meet somebody, you shake their hand, you have a drink with them, whatever, like it's a completely different thing than somebody who, I mean, even you guys, right? Like I feel like I know you guys a lot, but like on this live, I think only Scott's the only person that's here today that I've actually met in person. It's just like a different, just like you put a name with a face, and you can just have so much more of a conversation over even like 15 minutes versus like over just typing or in comments or whatever. Right, and when you meet somebody face to face, you like it's different, right? Like because when we see people on, it's like a physical bond, When you actually get to like see what that person's really like Brad in real life. You guys are not gonna. You would not want to be around. I'm just kidding. No, like Brad is very much look, like. I'll be up the guy in the corner, just be like sipping my Bud Light. Stay away from me. No, like Brad in real life is very much like this, but like it's just. This is real life. Like this is as real life as it gets. That's what I'm saying. But like I mean, but it is different than a one-on-one, face-to-face, personal conversation with anybody, right? Like. So I just think it's nice to be able to like make that connection and really meet them. Like I see people online. I am on social media, but I'm like a lurker. Like I like to watch people's accounts. I rarely ever comment. I'm not like someone who's like making friendships in social media. I don't know why. I just don't. But she loves saying, she's like, oh, my girl Mallory. Right. I'm like, who? And she's like, Mallory. I mean, I've commented. I appreciate what she does, but like I'm not trying to be her BFF because she's already got them. Like it's all good. But anyway, these people that I see, like when they meet people in real life, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've known this person for so long, and then I met him in real life. It's like a big thing. Now the flip side of that. Yeah. is when you meet somebody.
Yeah.
And then, because there's a whole thing, right? Like, never meet your heroes. That's real.
It can be real.
That is, well, it is
always.
real. I'm just saying that is real. It's
Right.
not always real. I'm just saying, but like, yeah, there are definitely people that I've met who I've like really looked up to, or I've been like, oh, like really into,
Not
like whatever they were
necessarily
doing.
in the woodworking venue, though, right?
Well, there too. I mean, everywhere. I think
I don't know
that's.
about this.
But like, you meet somebody and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
No, definitely people in the woodworking space. This was early on though.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, I remember
like racking my brain
one
now.
particular person I met, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, I don't ever want to spend any time with you at all. Like, cause it's like, you know, you see this one persona, and then
Right.
most people are very, and for me, it's typically like, I want to say like life choices, but it's typically like, you know, just the way, like, what you see is what you get pretty much with me, like on video. With a lot of people, and I know like a lot of this, like, you know, it's very clean and cut on video, and then like you talk to them at a bar, and like every other word's an F-bomb, and they're, you know, talking to like racial slurs or, you know, bigotry, like whatever, like you're like, whoa, like what just happened here? I thought,
Never mind, moving
right.
on.
And so it's like stuff like that.
You nod and you walk away.
I've had the experience of some of that, and I'm like, oh gosh, that's just so.
Yeah.
It's just like, it just makes you feel like so.
You feel like
let
you've been
down.
hoodwinked in a way. Yeah. You
and
know?
then you just doubt everybody. You're like, well,
Right.
how are you?
It's true.
So if you come, like, you're
Gosh, we went
you're not
deep
gonna
here.
get. I know. I'm done.
Yeah.
Hey,
If anything,
air it out.
Brad is nicer in person. I'm just kidding.
That is probably true.
I mean, you are. He's really nice.
I'm
Brad and I are both
a
like
people pleaser.
introverted. I don't know. We both like to talk to people, but we're such homebodies that's what it is.
Yeah.
That if
We
it's
are
a
homebodies.
local thing and we're like, should we go to this party or should we just stay in and watch another episode of The Walking Dead
Yes.
and lay on the couch and eat popcorn? We're probably going to do that.
But
We're so
that
bad.
being said,
but once we go, we have a great time.
we are the life. We're not the life of the party, but we're in
We're
it.
decent. Like we're good
At Workbench Con, I'm kind of the life of the party. I mean, I just get into it.
I want to go one year.
At a karaoke.
Yeah.
Stop, please.
I will not be singing karaoke.
Anyway, enough about that. Let's move on.
Sorry.
All right,
This is a big
all right. I would be more than happy to put the model on the model file on the Patreon. Scott.
Yeah.
I would absolutely do that, 100%. Remind me, send me a note on Patreon, and I will do that. Or maybe Susan's writing something. I don't know.
No.
Alan, thank you for the tidbits on that. Yeah, a little NFL. You know, you got to throw some shade at the Bengals when they perform like that. Kayla Landry, how are you? Love the video. Struggling with getting the right fittings and ended up using exhaust piping. Using exhaust piping. Asked my husband to cut and re-weld to get a little. Like actual exhaust pipe. That's what I was wondering. Like an actual exhaust pipe to a car. That is fantastic. I love that. Kayla was saying that she couldn't get the right fittings, and so she used exhaust pipe.
That is a good idea.
That's fantastic, Kayla. Halligan's and batons. Sorry, I keep going batons. Batons. Need outlets on your bench. I know. We need outlets everywhere, man. I love having outlets everywhere. No, Mr. Davis, I am not letting this go. It's like having something in my hand.
It's like a security blanket.
It is. I'm very handsy. What's the best way to clamp up? Scott, I am bringing Smokey.
What? Oh.
Smokey, the truck is now Smokey again. So the truck was Smokey before we got
how on
our
earth
puppy,
is that going to work
Smokey.
out?
We had Smokey puppy for 3 weeks. Had to rehome him because I couldn't breathe. And so the truck got his name back, Smokey. I am bringing Smokey. I was actually thinking, I just got an oil change today because I want to make sure he's in tip-top shape. But I was thinking of bringing Big Blue, actually. I was like,
really?
Well,
I would not.
I know. I don't want to get stranded on the road. But I was like, listen, if I'm going to drive 600 miles or whatever, plus, why don't I put it on the old kicker? Because Smokey, he's only got. It feels so weird to call him Smokey now. Mm-hmm. That's okay. It's gonna work.
We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, it's only got 36,000 miles. It's a 2013, and I've got 36,000 miles on it. So extremely low mileage. I don't want to go anywhere. This is like literally the only trip I ever make But I did.
Yep.
I took Smokey last year, so. Smokey's got leather, and he's got more accoutrements than Big Blue.
It's a little bit fancier.
Big Blue is like a throw. It's 2003 cloth. Stereo doesn't work, or it does, but no automatic air conditioning. Yeah, I'm definitely not taking Big Blue.
I mean, back in the days of the
too.
no automatic air conditioning.
Oh, that's the worst.
I remember.
I'm so
remember
privileged.
that.
So privileged.
It is seriously such a privilege.
Let's see what else we got. What's the best way to clamp live edge projects? Will. Best way to clamp live edge projects. That's a good question. I guess it depends upon how you're clamping. Like let's just get a example in mind. So if you have, let's say you wanted to kind of make a live edge wider. And so you had like a skinny live edge piece that you cut down the center, and then you filled it in with some, other boards, several or 1 or 5 or 20, who knows, boards in between.
I mean,
and so that
you
still
a lot of money, but yes, go ahead.
And so you still have live edge on the outside, but then you have things on the interior.
Sorry,
because
I was about putting it in the back of your truck for some reason.
No.
Go ahead.
So,
Sorry.
Right, because if you typically you would just have a slab of live edge and you wouldn't really have to clamp it.
Right.
But that would be an example of a time that you could do that. I've only like clamped it down. I don't think I've done. No, I have done it. Because I did some charcuterie boards that I split down the middle of a live edge and then book matched them and clamped it. And however you can, man. That's like a weak answer, but it's gonna really depend upon the shape of the live. Like if your live edge is kind of curvy this way versus like the one I was doing is like slanted. So you have to come up with different scenarios. What I would probably do is cut something on the bandsaw to try to match the curve if you could.
To like counteract the curve.
Then put something in
wedge.
Between it. Not in a way like put like a piece of cloth, like a T-shirt or some shop rags in between the live edge and that, so you don't bang it up, and then clamp that way. So that's what I would do is try to cut some cauls, and if you don't have a bandsaw, maybe a jigsaw. If you don't have that, then you could, if the bottom is going to be not exposed. Like if it was going to be a dresser top or something, then you could always screw something into the bottom and clamp it that way as well. But it starts to get a little weird because you're off center, obviously. So that is one way to do it, is like do clamping blocks that you could glue to the underside. If you do it with like blue tape and do CA glue on both sides and do that thing, or double-sided tape, probably not going to be strong enough. But if you can get something on there, even if you just glued it straight up and then just knocked it off later and, planed it down or whatever, because it's the underside. So that could be a potential way to do it as well. But you will sometimes run into issues being off center. So if you're clamping something here and you're clamping it down here, it's obviously going to want to bow up. So you would need clamps on top as well, at least to try to level that out. Or like cauls across the top or something like that. Calls. All right.
Tell you what, that was a
that was an answer. I know. I felt good about that one. Jason, the ingrain coasters, the Saga. If I use armor seal and saturate the whole thing, if I flatten them again after the finish cures, will the finish hold the wood from cupping again? No. Armor seal is not going to hold the wood from cupping.
Brett just shot that down real fast. No.
Definitely not.
Negative. His face.
I don't think so. I don't think it will. I don't know. Maybe it would. I'm thinking now.
He's like, no way. There's no possible way. Well, maybe.
I mean, it's ingrain. Like you'd have to really build up the finish on the ingrain to like seal it. So if you totally sealed it, but I would go epoxy because you'd have to. I mean, I know what you're thinking. I think I know what you're thinking. Like it gets down in the pores, and so it's like everything is sealed. I don't know. I don't think so, Jason. But try it. Tell us what happens.
Just test out another one.
I would still probably go the epoxy route.
Here, some please. I keep spelling
this hand is going to do you no good.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yep. The right hand. Give it the finger there. Have we watched the new Walking Dead? No, Will, we have not. We're gonna wait until
Are we waiting? Do we have a plan?
I don't know. We don't
I'm
really
afraid
have a
to hear
plan.
any spoilers. So don't
Yeah, I
watch
know.
anything.
We kind of maybe need to watch it early, but maybe not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I put this on there, but we started watching it during COVID.
Yes.
When like the beginning, when there was like
freaky.
we were just home, and it was so nice because it was just like
It
we don't
was.
have zombies. That's good,
Ooh, Scott's Avalanche is 157. That's I think right about what Big Blue has. Big Blue I think has 53, 54, right around there. No, Cunningham, I didn't sell Big Blue. I couldn't bring myself. I still am going to sell.
I mean, it's like the best market ever
I know.
to
I'm gonna
sell
sell
a used car.
I'm going to list
We
them
have
tomorrow.
not.
Just kidding.
You're right. We had talked about selling it. That was
I do want to sell them.
It was progress. Conversations were had.
Yeah. Yeah, it came 600, 600, 6,000 miles. We swing right by. Just like an extra 2 days of driving. The new cabinets that I built for my tech gear. Lori, I am enjoying those. I'm enjoying the extra surface. The one that's like next to my desk is great for like a little landing pad for, like my desk gets super cluttered. And it's one thing mainly is just like papers. Like I just, I get like a contract. So I print out a contract and then I print out something else and then I get, a tax bill or whatever. Like
stuff right
so
now.
many things and they're just all sitting there and then it just like piles up. And so I got one of those little organizers and I just put it over there and I just put the papers in it because my desk isn't like my desk is narrow. So it's not really set up great for that. Also, like my iPad, because the iPad, I typically just like set it on top of whatever else is there and it kind of teeters. So now I put that over there. And then the open shelves on the ends, I am really enjoying those because, we got all that stuff. So like the big thing for the aperture light, bags.
Yeah. That fits really nicely.
And the whole right side's still open.
I'm surprised by that. But I think we just haven't put anything in there yet. Like
that's why it's still open.
I know. I'm just saying like the deliveries. We got a delivery today. We
I know.
Stuck it over there.
That's
We're not
true.
used to having a place to put it.
That's true.
But yeah, can I just say, just if nothing else, walking in the office.
Oh, feels delightful.
And not having that gross. It wasn't gross, but
shelving.
Yeah, the shelving unit. It's so much.
And
better.
it feels like it's like a mental weight lifted.
It's just so much better. And then the walls painted. Oh
yeah,
gosh,
it just looks nice.
Better. Yeah.
But yes, and Lori will be. I believe that the project, our next video is going to be kind of working with those drawers to make them better for storage instead of just having like big open drawers. I'm going to do like a bunch of different ways on how to organize drawers, and use a lot of different methods. Actually, will you remind me? I need to order some stuff for that.
Yes.
So that it's here.
Order some stuff.
Thank you.
I mean, you're asking the worst person to remind. I put it on my app.
Yeah. I should. I should take Big Blue and just put a for sale sign on them, and then just fly home, like sell them down there. That'd be great.
Sell them
Who wants to buy to fix this build that original truck?
Plane ticket.
Yeah, I'll include some free plans with it.
Oh my gosh.
The 2013s are all the Black Diamond edition, and I think I said 2013. I meant it's actually 2011. I don't know why I kept thinking it was 2013. It is a 2011 because I didn't like the Black Diamond edition because it's too fancy for me. It's like it's all painted. It doesn't have the black trim.
I remember.
Yeah, I was like, I need to be able to bang this around like this. That was like it looked like a Cadillac, EXT at that point.
Road is out.
Yeah, that's right. All right, what else we got here? Let's see here. Razor was saying, enjoyed the video today and built a mobile miter cart and was thinking about doing a dust cover that fits that. Yeah, awesome, man. I thought about doing that for a long time too, and I just honestly never got around to it. I was like, because the way, the problem with it is like I built it exactly to the side. Like it literally, like if you saw it in the video, there was like nothing in between the base of my saw and the width of the top for that, so I didn't have space to slide down a hood over it. And so then I was like, all right, well, I got to put it on top, and then the things come up, and I was trying to figure all that out. And I just decided, like, well, I'm just going to do a miter stand. But most people won't have that issue because the rigid miter saw, the fixed one, has a wide bay. I went and measured a bunch of other ones, and almost all of them are smaller. Except for like these big crazy ones now, like the Cruiser.
The Cruiser. It's my favorite name.
I know you love that one.
For a miter saw. It just sounds like we should be rolling around, going to like a drive-in
Like the Dairy Whip.
Yeah, like but
Is that
in
what it's called? The Dairy Whip?
60s, like
the
the
Dairy Whip.
50s.
The Dairy Whip, right?
The Dairy Whip.
The Dairy Whip.
What Dairy Whip though?
In Loveland?
Oh, the one in Ohio?
Yeah.
I think there was one like around here.
No, the Dairy Whip.
We don't have one of those around here.
I know we don't.
That is weird. Like, every little town has like a Dairy Whip, like with the soft serve ice cream. We don't have that.
I know, they don't.
That's like the only thing we probably don't have around here. We got every other restaurant in demand.
Jason, there's definitely some epoxies that will completely saturate the fibers, like what you're looking for. Definitely not a 2-to-1. Like I'm thinking about the Total Boat stuff because that's what I use mostly. I mean, if you got some of the thick pour stuff, the thick pour stuff is like water. I mean, it's like it's literally like it flows like water. The viscosity is so low on that stuff. So if you had anything that was deep pour, now it might not make a lot of sense because, to get it for that, and you can't typically get that stuff on a smaller quantity. Man, maybe the tabletop epoxy, maybe, because it's got like a longer cure time. What you're really looking for is like a longer cure time, because most of the stuff that has a shorter cure time, it just gels up too fast. But I've seen people use like the tabletop epoxy for different things like that. But it would definitely leave you with it would absolutely leave you with a thick, epoxy coating on the top. Like it might penetrate all the way down, but you'd have it'd be a thick epoxy on the top, which wouldn't matter at that point, right? I think that is not what you're looking for. Steve L, what's up, man? No experience in woodworking, but it looks cool. I love it. You're in the right place, my friend. But the welcome wagon came out to him as well. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. What, Mr. Did I miss a question? What's a good source of income for a YouTube maker? I was just talking to a guy about this yesterday. Went to a Vandy game, which was fun, basketball game.
I did not go. I said it like I went. Nope.
And I was talking to this guy. He's the dad of one of our son's friends, and he didn't really know much about it. He's like, so how do you make money on YouTube? And I was
like the most popular question. Like, what do you do?
And I was like, hey, well, I haven't counted recently, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 13 or 14 different revenue streams. So, some of those can be bigger. Some of them obviously are bigger than others, but it's like I always use the adage of catching rain in buckets. So it's like you put a bunch of buckets out there and it's raining, and you look at all of them, and some of them. I mean, that wouldn't obviously make any sense. That some of them had more than others, but well, if you had bigger buckets. So if you had some, you're like, I didn't get that much, but then when you pour them all together, you're like, oh, that adds up. Yeah. But there are definitely ones that rise to the top, and for our channel, it would be YouTube ad revenue, sponsorships. Yeah. Those would be the top two. So, but like just to name off a few of the others, just so you like affiliate sales, like people buy stuff through Amazon, and it depends upon how you group them too. So, Facebook ad revenue. So we have monetized ads on Facebook, as well as now like Instagram Reels, as well as TikTok. So all these the TikTok is like, I think we've made like $100 over 3 years. And then, doing one-off sponsor things on all those different social media platforms, the website, plans, obviously, merchandise. So that's the beauty of being a content creator, is that there are so many different ways to make money, and everybody's business is different.
Right.
Because some people go really deep, and they're just all about sponsorship. They don't even have a website. They don't care. They don't do social media much. They're like, I'm YouTube. I'm all in on YouTube, and that's where I'm putting all my cookies in this basket, which I wouldn't recommend. But and then there's other people who are just really widespread, and there's other people like bloggers who's like, oh, it's all about the blog.
Right.
And then there's people who are just Instagrammers, and it's all about Instagram. Right. So you can make. And that's the funny thing.
Sales, yeah.
Right. I feel like every single one of those that I mentioned, there are people who are making a full-time living specifically in that one revenue stream. Every single one I mentioned, guaranteed, there are people that they're like, this is it, right? Merchandise sales, we're just selling.
We're just going to sell everything. And I would say in the beginning especially, I think it was more reassuring, right? more reassuring to us to be diversified. And it was kind of natural. Like you just kind of evolve. Like first you had the blog and then you went to the YouTube channel and like it just kind of grows and changes. But knowing that we have a lot of different income streams, even though some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller, is nice because like if something were to go away, then
right, which we've had
completely high, which we have definitely had.
We've had
that, like a week before Christmas.
yeah. So a few years back,
that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
So Rigid was our first major sponsor, and we still work with them from time to time on different stuff.
Right.
Which like this last video was actually a Home Depot video, and it's actually a completely different group, but it's still the name brand of Rigid.
Right.
It's owned by Emerson. If you didn't know that, the vacuum side is completely different than the cordless tool side.
I don't think I knew that. Now I know.
But anyway, we were with Rigid, and they called us that was in like September. It was Jet that dropped us. Yes, 100% positive. Because it was like mind. 2 weeks after I had quit my job and gone full time. They called us up and they're like, "Yo, we're dropping your contract." Rigid? I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was like,
oops.
And at that point in time, that was like 70% ish of all of our revenue.
Well, it's
because we were just doing so much for them. We were like pushing, like we just built up with them. We were like, and I was just like, oh, this is great, and like I'm just going to commit to them, and then I quickly learned.
They were the first people that ever approached us.
Right.
Like,
right. Yeah. But and then they didn't want to. The people I worked with were great, and it was somebody new came in as it does, and they we need to cut this stuff, and so they didn't care about me. We didn't have a relationship, and so. They axed me. And so overnight, I lost 70% of the revenue because we had, like at that point, we weren't established on YouTube. Like, obviously
not really.
Not
it was
now,
growing. I would say
we were doing Instagram. So it was like a lot of smaller Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
And a little bit here, a little bit there.
It's probably good though that they.
Maybe Rigid was 70% of our sponsor. That's what it was.
I think
Rigid
it was 70%.
It was a lot.
At that point, it was like. This is what I was going to say. I'm thankful that happened early. 2 weeks after you quit and right before.
Yeah. No,
because you know
true.
what I mean? Like you could totally get into a fear mode and be like, oh shoot, like that thing we were relying on. I mean, we've also talked before, like we've made other financial decisions over years to like get rid of debt and things like that so that we knew we could live on a shoestring budget in case something were to happen, which is a good thing because something happened. But I mean, we were very, 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 very thrifty for a long time to make that happen.
If that had happened a few weeks earlier, I'd been
that
like,
might have given you some pause. But instead, he was like, that first year that Brad was full time, and that was the year I went back to teaching. Also, we had my teaching salary. That was the whole reason I went back. Really, that you were like so driven, probably because of that. And then Jet dropped us right before Christmas.
Yeah.
Which again was like, it just was a decision
that
was made.
That was like 2 years ago. So
that was more recent.
That was like 20,
but it all worked out.
19,
like it's been fine because we've had a lot of different irons in the fire.
That's right. So anyway, long answer, short question. There you go.
Good times.
Everybody's saying they like the Cruiser, by the way.
Oh, good.
They like the Cruiser.
Yeah, I have no idea what kind of, I just think the name is, it just reminds me of a car. Like, I guess because you're cruising, like a classic car. But it's a big saw, right?
Yeah, it's like
it's
got one of those like mechanical arms instead of a slider.
Oh, it's not a slider?
No, it is a slider. I'm just saying it doesn't slide per se. Like the Bosch one that they call it like the glider.
I know.
It's got the. Well, I was trying to give you credit.
Is it like a cruiser, like it cruises on out?
Absolutely. You set.
Well, that makes sense.
You set it on cruise control. Does all the cuts.
It just makes all the cuts. Like you walk in the shop later and everything's done.
Yes.
Okay. Well, no. I'm sure it's fancy.
Yeah. All right. Rigid. I think licensed the Cruiser. So like Rigid saw is the Cruiser now, except it's Rigid.
I didn't know that.
Delta. So Delta makes the Cruiser.
Right.
And then now Rigid licensed it. So and they do that on a lot of tools. Not Rigid typically hasn't done that, but like you'll see that across the board in a lot of tools. You'll see one in this brand and one in this brand, and they look exactly the same. It's because they'll license them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they charge the same amount?
No.
It's like the same tool though, right?
No, they typically change it. So it'll be like, and then they'll say, oh, well, we're going to upgrade the motor, or we're going to upgrade this or that. So they typically typically, but not always.
Interesting.
Like there's the jet drill press that I have that has the digital readout. There is a WIN model that's like the same exact thing. So it's like 200 or $300 cheaper. That's crazy. And like a lot of times it'll be like machining tolerances too, are smaller. So I've never compared the WIN against that one. I have heard people say that they really enjoyed it. So like sometimes like for one like that, I would probably recommend the WIN over that one, honestly, because they are pretty similar. But then other ones like drills or something like, like if you look at, it's the same company, but like DeWalt versus Craftsman, like if you look at two of those together, they're the exact same drill.
But one has like more metal and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
One's got a metal chuck, the other one's got a plastic chuck.
Like DeWalt
Someone's got
has
gears.
more metal, is that right? Or
DeWalt's the higher end brand
yeah.
than the Craftsman. So same type things with some of these at times.
sense.
But yeah, so they do whatever they want, to figure out
They
where they
do
want to
whatever
position
they
themselves.
want.
They do whatever they want. They don't care. Let's hear Scott. I like how Scott is tagging when he's got the question. He does the fixes build out live.
Good
Thank
job,
you so much,
Scott.
Scott.
Gold star.
It really pops out.
Gold star.
Have I looked at Rumble and considering
Rumble.
putting content on there
Oh.
and sync to your YouTube channel?
I feel like I've heard about this.
We may have gotten contacted by Rumble.
I feel like we did. We get contacted
Honestly,
by
Scott,
like, all kinds of crazy people. Though.
We do. I get
Keep
weekly emails from
like platforms you've never
a half
heard
dozen,
of.
right? And so I literally just delete them all. Because I don't care. I mean, I'm just like,
Well,
there's
maybe
so
we'll
many.
give Rumble a second thought now that like maybe there's, but yeah, like there's like.
But there's just so many.
You
They're
can
like,
launch
oh,
a
we're
whole
launching a
course
new,
on our
we got
thing, and you're gonna make $2 million.
No, the one guy.
That was my favorite.
We just got one last week, and they said, oh, it's this new live event thing, ticketing event,
people.
and other creators are making $50,000 to $3 million
But
per event, and they're like,
who are they listing up?
They're like Justin Bieber, and like, okay.
And like, I mean, Justin Bieber and like all these famous
Like Jake Paul
like
or
Adele.
like-
I'm like, well,
yeah.
of course they're making $3 million or whatever. But that was totally the messaging was like, you too can
said,
make $3 million.
listen,
Like we might make $3.
We do a free live.
Right.
Ain't nobody paying nothing because we get wonderful
Oh my
people
gosh.
who give us super stickers. And
So we laugh at some
so
of them.
Get out of here.
It's just silly. It's like everyone has a platform and it's like a land grab. They're just trying to get people on it. But it's really hard to know what to go to and what to avoid. Well, we know we just avoid
Lori,
them all.
any thoughts on the Craig AccuCut track system
Oh.
with Rip Cut Edge Guide? Interested in to break down plywood, but would just use a regular circuit saw with it, not the Craig, to keep costs down. So the AccuCut is the cheaper version of the track. I've got one right here.
Within arm's
course.
reach, people.
It is.
Well,
Oh,
kind
I've got
of.
a knot.
We got a knot.
I better not pull this off.
I knew he was gonna make a pun.
It's back by it slid
It's
behind
too
me.
far.
Anyway.
It's a bit of disappointment. I'm sorry.
I know the ACS is like the track. It wasn't even a knot. It was just kind of looped. The ACS is like the actual track. So the AccuCut's not actually a track saw. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It's a track. It's a guide. So it doesn't like. It's not like a positive lock, and it's got more slop to it, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's what it is. You can like put it on the track and like jiggle it, and it will move a bit. I want to say like about.
Some more play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slop, play, jiggle.
I just feel like
Jiggle, wiggle.
you were talking about slot and like all these things, and it just sounded like we're talking about dance terms or something. Like you're gonna
Yeah. So
start flossing.
and so it's and it's much cheaper, and you have a base that goes on your circular saw. So all that said, I'm just like setting the stage,
Right.
and it's priced accordingly.
Which is this the AccuCut?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's like $70, and like a track saw is like $300.
Is that the one with the table?
That's part of it, but you can just get the saw and the track.
And
So
the clamp, it clamps down.
So yeah, I used the AccuCut for a while, and it's great if you're just using it to break down sheet goods. Fantastic, and all that play, you can account for a lot of that. All you have to do is just like make sure you're keeping consistent pressure, to one side or the other. So you kind of don't want to push it from behind. You want to push it like at a little bit of an angle, so you're pushing kind of up against one side. So you're like taking that play out, and then if you can be consistent enough to do that, it worked great. Even like I made finish cuts with it. Like I think I did the
For what?
for the the end of the waterfall epoxy table.
Oh.
Yeah. So like,
been a
I mean, if
minute.
you just like line it up and it's fine.
Yeah.
It just takes more, like, it's not just like slap it down and go like on the track saw.
Just think about it a little
You
bit.
have to, you have to like make sure you're all lined up and that
aware.
that you're thinking about your cut instead of just like blasting through it.
Right.
But it is a great entry level guide to doing crosscuts and breaking down sheet goods, 100%. Because I never use, whenever I break down sheet goods, I never use that line, my first cut, I never use that as a finished. I always clean it up and go around as I go.
So what is that? Hang on. So when you break down plywood a lot, you put down the foam insulation and you put the stuff on the ground, the plywood, and then you just cut. Well, sometimes you use the...
I do it all on the floor now.
But sometimes you use the circular saw, and sometimes you use the on the track.
No, it's always the track saw now.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. I take it all back.
It's a certain,
like... I was thinking, how are you doing that so straight?
Yeah,
like, that makes more sense.
Yeah. It's the...
Yeah.
I use the Ace. Actually, they're TC Pro. Is that right? I don't know. TS Pro? TS Pro.
Sure.
You may have seen that they have like a right angle guide for Festool tracks, and I've seen those. So I'm like, man, that'd be really cool to have. So there are some things out there that work with the track saws where you can make sure that it's at a 90-degree angle to the front edge.
Oh.
Because like I just measure it and mark it, and I'm like, lining it up.
He's got his fingers crossed.
I mean, it's so I know my cuts aren't straight, and that's just because of my measurement. It's not because of that. I guess I should. I mean, I could like grab one of these squares.
It's been working for you, right?
Yeah, like I said,
we're not losing sleep over this.
It doesn't really matter. All right, well, we are coming
Hopefully
up on our time here. Let me see if I want to grab
explained
any other questions. If I miss your question, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But you know, there's always next Sunday.
Are we gonna have? We could be back, right?
What? Oh yeah.
You
No,
gonna be
I'll
back?
be here. I'll be back.
Driving back,
I'll be back
okay.
on Sunday.
Big Willie said that I should do it without you.
I told him. Yeah, I think you
Right.
should. I think you should.
That will be it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all kinds of things.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Oh, Jeff Baker, what's up, man? Jeff Baker, you're coming in hot. Right as we're getting out. It's all good, man. It's
always next week.
Yeah, always next week.
Thanks for coming.
All right, guys. Absolutely, we will catch you next week. If you've not seen the 10 tips for better miter saw dust collection video, go check it out. Leave a comment. Leave a like. Subscribe if you.
We just feel like one of those videos.
I would be so
like
disappointed if you people are not subscribed to the main channel.
You people.
You people.
We'll
My
look you
people.
all
Our
up.
people.
No, just kidding.
I would be like, what am I doing here? Am I? They'd be like, we just like the live. Like your main
Right.
stuff sucks. But
Yeah.
we just like you talking about nothing and being an idiot.
I mean, that's fine.
I mean, I could get that. I could get that. I can understand that.
If that's how you roll, then more power to you.
We're okay with that too.
Yeah,
By the way, we
that's
just
fine.
hit 4,000 subscribers
Right.
on the live channel. So thank you to
awesome.
all you folks. And I
Thank
know
you.
you're all subscribed to this because you can't
Right.
comment unless you are. So
That's true.
yeah.
We have what's the word I'm looking for? Standards.
Standards, yes.
You all passed the muster.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Rise up lights.
Rise
That's
up
right,
lights.
Jason.
That is so much fun to say.
All right, guy. Have a great one, and we will catch you guys next Sunday.
Yes.
Get out there, build something awesome this week, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.